Box Sherrell, tell us how this process specifically has played out in the form of Jonas Adoo's discussions with North Carolina.
Yeah, so I think obviously what they're doing, you see that I think we reported this too, that they either want a game changer in the post or someone who at minimum could pair in a rotation with Jalen Washington. And I think the portal movement you've seen talks with Omar Ballo, talks with Cliff Omori, talks with Jonas, talks with Ahmad Bradshaw, Aaron Bradshaw, who committed to Ohio State. That kind of shows you what they're looking for. I think Adu is a unique case because 3 years ago, uh, most of us thought that he was going to end up committing to Carolina. It didn't quite work out during the coaching change from Roe Williams to Hubert Davis. And I think it basically he entered the portal last week, and Jeff Lebo is the assistant coach who's handling his recruitment, and he reached out to Jonas, and then he had a call with Hubert Davis, and basically we were told it was transparent, and they talked about what happened last time. I think there were some hurt feelings there between, especially from the Adu side. I think Hubert Davis was starting to build that bridge back from where they were this time, pretty much exactly this time in 2021. So from there, there will probably be another call, likely soon, likely tomorrow, more than likely. And then from there, it's all about whether or not he's going to take a visit, and you kind of reset the recruitment after those multiple phone calls are done. It's a good gauge of, okay, is this for both parties? Is this something we're interested in? Is this something we think can work? And if so, then let's talk about a visit. Now, if it gets to be, I would say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we haven't heard anything about a visit, then maybe the Zoom call with the staff tomorrow didn't go that well. If you do see a visit scheduled or confirmed scheduled, then maybe the visit, went pretty well and they're ready to take the next step. But that's, to me, that's the big thing, and it's not just about Adu. It's about really any player. Like, they can be Carolina's top target for 24 hours, and then either Carolina gets a piece of information it didn't have, or the player just says, you know what, my mom wants me to go to X, or the player says, you know what, school Y is offering me this, or whatever it may be, and they can be gone. I mean, I think we just saw that with Aaron Bradshaw. I think the Carolina fan base and people reading it kind of got the impression that he was the guy. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did too. And then just that quickly, it evaporated. It was over, and they're moving on. So I think in the portal era, it's just really important not to get too attached to any one player that UNC is targeting, especially if they don't take a visit. If they take a visit, then it's a pretty good chance that North Carolina is serious, that they're serious about North Carolina, that all those things that we talk about with Fed and not looking to get into a bidding war and real NIL, the way NIL was intended to be, all those things fit. If somebody gets on campus from there, it's just a matter of them making a decision about what school they want to go to. So that would be my unsolicited advice to the Carolina fan base: is don't get too attached to a player that we call a portal name to know or someone they've had contact with, because just as fast as you find out they have contact, they could not have contact again. It happened last year, but don't connect. Carolina made a call, and it didn't go anywhere from then. And people kept asking, like, is there anything with UNC and Connect? And we're like, we haven't heard anything since that initial call, and it never followed up. So as quickly as they come, they can go.
It's important to remember. I mean, you're talking about situations literally as fluid as cat pee, right? Like it's all over the place. It's always moving. It's sometimes it stinks, sometimes you don't know it's there, but either way, it's happening. And I think that it's important that people kind of keep that perspective that this is not only is it moving all the time from UNC's perspective, it's moving all the time from the player's perspective. It's moving all the time from the other interested schools' perspective. And then when you also think about the people that are involved in the decision, if there are other folks involved in the decision, it's moving for them. So just keep that in mind as maybe your timeline is not as active as you want it to be. Things could change. I mean, what was it last year, Sherrell, that on the same day Caleb Love entered the transfer portal, North Carolina received a commitment from Paxton Wojcik? I mean, like it can go from nothing to something really, really quickly. So
That was an all time. That was an all time moment because
oh
I
God,
don't know. I wasn't mad, but I was just we were trying to
the
get
timing
people
was
to
brutal.
yeah, the timing was brutal, and it was like Paxton Wojcik is not coming to replace Caleb Love, and people couldn't understand it. It just happened to happen that way.
I mean, we said
So
it
yeah,
1,000 times on the show, bro. Like, you
yeah.
repeated it as you went full Buddha on everybody and, like, repeated it 1,000 times with a very monotone, safe, you know, steadily intonated voice because we felt like we needed to because the knee-jerk reaction is gonna be, "Look at the timing."